Some of you are even afraid to dream, afraid to imagine. But I'm here to tell you that you are an infinite, limitless, boundless being. Are you willing to do what is necessary to have what you desire?
Thank you for joining us. Please take a moment and like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. If you are finding value in these enrichment sessions, please consider supporting this page financially. Your donations allow us to continue to provide spiritual enlightenment, self-exploration, and kingdom knowledge. Also, consider becoming a partner because partnerships have this privilege. As a partner, you'll be able to attend our annual Partners Only Summer Summit, join us for our 6 a.m. virtual daily guided meditation sessions, weekly advanced empowerment sessions, regular prophetic insights and instructions, 30% discount on all Emerge books and merchandise, and a custom Emerge t-shirt. You'll also gain full access to the private Emerge Movement community page as well as group chats. Once again, thank you for watching.
And we're back. Okay, I think we got everything fixed and everything is running smoothly. Now we are on across all channels. We're even on TikTok as well as on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Instagram. So glad that all of you are here and that you are joining us for this empowerment session, this live conversation. I'm your host, Isaac J. Miles, and I am so glad that you joined me this morning. You've tuned into one of the most powerful places on the planet, and we're going to be having a really great conscious conversation. And so, as I said at the beginning of the other broadcast, I need you guys to help me to reach my goals today. Help me to be able to expand the reach of this platform, and you can do so by doing 3 things. If you will just like and interact with this particular live, whether you're making comments or you're hitting the like button or some other emoji, then your interaction helps to push us further and further out into the algorithm and help us to reach a larger audience. Then also, I'm asking you to share this live, share it with all of your friends, your family, your mama and them, your cousin them, your brother, your auntie. Share it with everybody that you know and invite them to come and be a part of this conscious conversation. And then finally, for those of you who are watching on Facebook, tag as many of your friends as you possibly can and invite them. Alert them that we are live and on the air and that they can come and be an active participant in this conversation this morning. So go ahead and do that for me right now. I'm going to move very quickly because I've got a lot of ground to cover, and we are already 23 minutes past our starting time. And so I'm still going to try and finish this probably not by 10. Let's say by 10:15 we'll be done. So in about 45, 50 minutes, we'll be done with the conversation. Hang in there with me. Today we are talking about transmuting fear into power. How you overcome anxiety. Again, I was torn a little bit in preparing for this particular live, whether I was just going to call it overcoming anxiety. But then when I started to think, what is the basis or the foundation for all anxiety? It is fear. And fear is not only the basis for anxiety, but for a number of other abnormalities that we all find ourselves struggling with from time to time. So I thought that I would approach it from a more holistic, comprehensive perspective and deal with fear as the basis, the substratum for a number of the other social, emotional, mental, and physical abnormalities that we find ourselves having to deal with as a result of not properly appropriating fear and understanding its role and its effect on our life. So today we're going to talk about how we transmute fear into power, reclaiming your presence, your purpose, and your peace. And then we're also going to, and in doing so, we will talk about overcoming anxiety. So you are tuned in to the right place at the right time, one of the most powerful places on the planet. And I am glad that you are here. So let's begin the conversation. How do we transmute fear into power? How do we overcome anxiety? And in these chaotic times that we find ourselves in, especially here in the United States, this is a time where things seem to be in an upheaval. There's so much anarchy and confusion and chaos that is taking place because of the current administration throwing everything and everybody into chaos. I do believe that the chaos is the point. It is deliberate. It is an effort to create this entire cloud and an illusion around what's happening here in the United States, so that the real purposes and plans of the administration would kind of be hidden underneath all of the other craziness, the other smoke screens and bombs that are being thrown. But if you're not careful and you are watching the news constantly, reading different magazines, tuned into different shows, political shows, and kind of really tuned in to everything that's happening in this country, it's very easy for you to become overwhelmed by all of the plethora of things that are taking place in the country right now and that's happening around the world. There is a global upheaval. There's a global chaos and confusion that's happening not only here in the United States, but all around the globe. And if you are not very mindful and careful, and if you are not self-caring, not self-medicating, but self-caring for dealing with your own mental and emotional health, you can find yourself overwhelmed and you find yourself falling into anxiety and fear and depression, and you start to behave in ways that are outside of your character, outside of your norm, or you feel yourself being so overwhelmed that you become almost emotionally, mentally, and psychologically paralyzed, and in some cases physically paralyzed because depression begins to set in. And you find yourself in a state where it's hard for you to be able to really function and do so effectively. Today, I want to deal with those issues that can arise from one source, which is fear. So let's talk a little bit about first what fear is. What is fear? Fear is a biological, emotional, and spiritual response to perceived danger or a real threat. It is, let me say that again, it is a biological, emotional, and spiritual response to a perceived danger or threat, whether that threat is real or imagined. It doesn't have to be real in order for fear to begin to do its work and be activated in your life. It is biological, it is emotional, and it is spiritual, and not some demon or devil or entity floating around outside of you, okay? But it is spiritual because it involves energy. Everything is energy, and it is a reaction and a response to a perceived threat, whether that threat is real or not, okay? So this is what fear is. It is designed primarily, and this may surprise some of you, the primary design of fear is for our protection. I know there are those who will tell you that there's nothing positive, nothing good about fear, but fear is a healthy reaction, response, and emotion, provided that it is channeled toward what its original intent was, which was to protect us. It is designed to protect us, but it can also trap us when we don't appropriate it properly, or we don't channel that fear and recognize it for what its purpose is. If there is a threat, a very real threat that you are facing, that you are confronted with, fear is the appropriate response and emotion and will trigger the appropriate behavior as a result of what you are fearing. That is both healthy and helpful. But if fear is left unchecked and unchanneled, then fear can become a trap. It can become a prison, an emotional prison, an emotional trap, an emotional binding and constraintment that will have a negative effect on your life, on your perception, on your behavior, and your responses. Fear is the belief that you are not safe in your present or your future. Let me say that again. That fear is the belief, it is the idea that you are not safe, that you don't have security in your present state or in your future. It is a signal, ladies and gentlemen. It is a signal that something seems or feels off. But please understand this, and you might want to write this down. This is a Miles-ism. It is a signal, but it's not a sentence. Let me say it again. It is a signal, but it is not a sentence. That means that it is not indefinite. It does not have the right to just linger and remain in your life. It is a signal. Something is off, something is misaligned, something is not, doesn't feel quite right, but it is not a sentence. You don't have to live, move, and operate in fear. You don't have to become the victim or the prisoner of fear. Okay? Fear is not a sentence. It's a teacher, but it is not a master. It is a teacher, but it is not a master. From a metaphysical perspective, fear is a distortion of reality and a distortion of the truth. It is a falsehood that emerges when we disconnect from love, trust, or let's just say from the all of everything that is God or source, or however you choose to label it. That when you find yourself disconnected, far removed, disjointed from love, from peace, from joy and trust, or from God, the source, the all of everything, the creator, fear creeps in and begins to set up residence and starts to create this narrative within the conscious mind that causes you to become frightful, fretful about things that you see with your eyes or you imagine within your mind. What is the origin of fear? Let's talk about that for a moment. Biological and the physiological roots. Fear is developed as a survival mechanism, a survival response to protect every human from threat. It is fear, the fear response and the fear feeling, if you will, is housed within the amygdala. The amygdala is the part of the brain that triggers the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. It's a biological, physiological part of your brain. Again, fear, its original intent is to help us, to teach us survival skills, to protect us. But when fear is left unchecked, fear then becomes a prison. And so instead of it just being a signal, it becomes a sentence. The origin from a physiological standpoint is the amygdala within the brain, which is the center of the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response that every human has to deal with, cope with, and experiences in their lifetime. So don't let anyone tell you that because you feel fear, that there is something abnormal about you. Everyone feels fear at some point or another in their life. The question becomes, do you allow yourself to be ruled by fear, conquered by fear, confined by fear and allow that fear to begin to fester into other abnormalities that cause different behavioral responses. From a spiritual and metaphysical root, fear arises from a perceived separation from the all of everything, from the divine, from the source, or from God. Again, semantics, whatever terminology you want to use. Whenever we have a perceived separation from God, then it produces this irrational feeling of fear. And I say that it is a perceived separation because we are never separated from God. It is impossible. Let me say this again and say it very clearly, especially for those who are of a religious ilk. It is absolutely impossible for you to be separated from God. So even when you feel and think psychologically that you are somehow far removed from the all of everything, from source, from God, remind yourself that that is an impossibility. Now, how do I substantiate that? By divinity. One of the aspects of divinity is to be omnipresent. That means that there is no place that God is not. David is famous for saying that even if I take wings of the morning and fly away, God is there. If I make my bed in hell, God is there. There is no place that I can go that God is not. Ladies and gentlemen, you are a place. You are the temple of the Holy Spirit, or the presence of God. God lives in you. So there is never a time, listen to what I'm saying to you, there is never a time that God is not with you. There is never a time that you are separated from God, because God's presence is ubiquitous throughout the universe and throughout this three-dimensional existence that we call Earth. So God is always with you. You are never alone. And so when Jesus is purported to have said that God will never leave you, nor will it forsake you, that is a certainty that no matter what state you're in, no matter what you do, no matter what you do not do, no matter whether you embrace a particular religious ideology or not, whether you are a believer or disbeliever, whether you are a true saint or an agnostic or even an atheist, the presence of God is real and resident in you, through you, as you, around you, above you, beneath you, in every place at all times. You are never separated from God. But the idea, the illusion of separation can cause you to begin to fall over into a place of irrational fear. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It emerges when you forget that your inherent wholeness, your safety, your spiritual sovereignty is rooted in God, that you are not just the temple of the presence or the spirit or the essence and the isness of God, but that you are the manifestation of God in three-dimensional form, that you are made in the image and likeness of the all of everything, that everything that God is, you are. It is you living, moving, breathing, and existing in three-dimensional form. So you are the animated expression of God in human form. Therefore, for God to separate itself from you would be God separating itself from itself. And God, according to your Bible, those of you who are Bible believers, God cannot deny itself. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Okay, religion will teach you that somehow God separates and moves away from you. The reality is that the presence of God is always with you. Yes, Zan. Zan Hardy wrote over here. I'm going to put that on screen. She says that if I can make you think that you are separated from God, then I can control you and make you think that you need me in order to get to God. That is one of the manipulations of religion. Religion promotes the idea that somehow you can be separated from God and that there is one person or one place or one entity that can reconnect you with God, and that if you don't come through that entity, then God wants nothing to do with you. And if I can convince you to believe that, you are easily manipulated and controlled. That is one of the purpose for the promotion of Jesus as the only way to God. And I know this is going to make some people mad. I'm going to lose some listeners, but that's okay. You need to understand Jesus was a great man and a great master teacher and a mystic and a great prophet and a great leader and a great representation of God in the earth. But he was just one. There are several, and there have been several, and that no one corners the market on God. God is not only with us, in us, through us, and as us, but God is also for us, inextricably for us. God in us, okay? And if I can make you believe that Jesus or Allah or Buddha or Krishna or any of these others are the only way that you can connect to God, then you are easily manipulated and controlled, because I, as the progenitor of that particular religion and the one who controls who is and is not, I then get to decide for you whether you have a real authentic relationship with God based upon whether you accept the teachings, doctrines, and the legalisms and dogma of my particular ilk, that this is what's required for you to be connected to Jesus, Allah, Buddha, or whomever it might be. But the truth is that you are eternally connected to God because you are God expressed in three-dimensional form, never separated. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay? We are God manifested in the flesh. I don't want to get bogged down there, because otherwise I won't get to the other parts of what I want to talk about as far as fear is concerned. But this is the substratum from a spiritual, metaphysical standpoint of what really produces this kind of fear in people. And some of the most fearful people are religious people. Lord have mercy. Man, see, I see myself going left, and I'm going to miss out on part of my lesson. But some of the most fearful people in the world are religious people. Why? Because religion promotes fear. That's what I said. The same religion that says God is not giving you the spirit of fear will turn around and say, you better do what God said. God gonna get you. God gonna get you. If you do this, God gonna get you. If you wear this, if you go there, if you say this, God gonna get you. He gonna send you to hell, and you're gonna burn throughout all eternity. If you don't believe and act and do as we say, then God is out to get you. You are going, man, and God don't really like you anyway. The only reason he put up with you is because of the blood of Jesus. If it wasn't for that blood that's on you, God wouldn't want nothing to do with you. That's nonsense. So the same religion that tells you God is not giving you the spirit of fear turns around and promotes the idea of fear, that you should be fearful. Oh, God can get you. God is after you. Oh, you got to walk circumspectly. Be careful, because if you don't, then God will pull the rug out from under you, and God's going to cause this to happen. He'll break down your car. He'll give you cancer. You're going to have all kinds of sick. The reason you sick is because you disobeyed God. The reason you losing all your money is because you disobeyed God. The reason why all this stuff is happening is because you disobey God. And so now you get this idea of this authoritarian that's sitting up on a throne in the sky somewhere, waiting to zap you with a lightning bolt because you did something that it didn't like. Some egotistical, insecure being that demands that you adhere and follow to a certain set of rules, and that you give him worship because he's too insecure to love his own self, now says you got to worship, praise, and adore me. And if you don't do that, then I'm going to get you. And so the same religion that tells you that God doesn't give you fear promotes the idea of fear. Hell is the biggest tool of fear mongering that the church has. Oh, Lord, have mercy. And that's why they get so upset when someone comes out and says that there's no such thing as a literal or physical hell. Because it's like, you can't take away hell. If you take away hell, you take away our power to manipulate and control people through fear. Ooh, Lord have mercy. My audience is dwindling now. All the church folk tuning out. Oh, but it's just the absolute truth. Okay? That is a fear-based religion, and fear-based religion is paralyzing. Emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, physically, it paralyzes you. It makes you paranoid. It's enough to give you anxiety, because what anxiety simply is, I'm getting ahead of my lesson. All anxiety simply is the belief in a threat or something adverse happening that has never happened. It's an imagined idea of what could happen, what might happen. Are you understanding what I'm saying? And so it's enough to give you anxiety and for you to become overwhelmed, because you keep being told that if you don't follow these rules, God gonna spank that butt. Are you hearing me? It is. Yes, it is literally emotional, physical, psychological abuse. It absolutely is. Okay. Toya says religion frequent. Oh, I got to put this on screen. Okay. Toya says religious teaching frequently assert that there is a singular path to God. However, cultivating a sincere relationship with the divine clearly reveals that there's no real separation between us and God. Okay? It's true. All right? Yes. Theresa. Hey, Theresa, it's good to see you. She says, Proverbs says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of real wisdom. Really? Okay, and I'm glad you brought that text up, because there is a misconception and misinterpretation. There are two different words that are used for fear in the Bible. One of them have to do with reverence, honor, and respect. That's one word, fear. But the other word is about being afraid, terrified, and paralyzed by what could happen. When Proverbs talks about the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, it is saying that it is the reverence, honor, and respect of the Lord. Well, how do you respect the Lord? By respecting the laws that govern the universe, by understanding your role as a divine being, as the essence of God in three-dimensional form. When I reverence and respect and honor myself, honor my life, then I am honoring God. Ooh, have mercy. Are you here? Did y'all catch what I just said? I said, when you honor yourself, when you reverence yourself, when you take care of your body, take care of your emotions, take care of your mind, take care of your physical, you are honoring God, because you are God in three-dimensional form. Good to see you too, Theresa. So glad that you are here. Okay, let me keep going, because I'm running out of time. I'm talking real fast. So I want to touch again on this anxiety piece. Anxiety is the irrational fear of what may be possible. Let me say that again. Somebody who's scribing for me, write this definition down for me. Anxiety is the irrational fear of what may be possible. Anxiety is the irrational, ridiculous, illogical, fear of what might be possible. It is a mental and emotional stimulation of danger that hasn't even happened. It is future. Anxiety is future focused, disempowering, and body activating. It is your mind. Listen to this. This is what anxiety is. Anxiety is your mind running a simulation or creating a potential narrative of potential outcomes that haven't even happen. And yet your body responds to the narrative or the illusion created by your mind of the possibility and begins to act as though the illusion or the simulation is a reality. And so your body begins to respond and carry the memory and the reaction of that narrative that you've created within your own mind in its core. And then you see it manifested in your physical behavior. Anxiety is the future. Listen to what anxiety does. Anxiety is it introducing the future into the present. Let me say that again. Anxiety is it trying to introduce a possible future into the present. Please understand that all that really exists is the eternal moment of now. You are only in this moment. Right now is all there is. Okay? The past is gone. It's over. It is dissipated. The future is an illusion, a vision, a hope, and expectation. The only thing that is real is right now. And what anxiety does, anxiety tries to pull a possible future into your present reality. It creates this simulation, this narrative, this illusion, and then convinces your psyche, your soul, that it is happening right now, when in reality, it is not. It keeps playing these scenarios of what possibly could happen, what might go wrong, and what might go off, and what may turn this way, and what if it doesn't work, and what if this falls apart, and what if they hate you, and what if they fight against you, and what if they don't like you, and what if, 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 and what if. That's anxiety, and it can be overwhelming. If he does this, then what if this happens? And what if he does this and then this happens? And what if they do this and then this happens? And what if she does? And what if this breaks down? And what if this goes away? And what if I lose this? Anxiety is a fear based upon a possible future that hasn't happened. But your mind has convinced you that it's happening right now. Are you hearing me? That is the power of your psyche, your conscious mind. A mind that is unchecked, that is unchanneled, that has not had its energy transmuted, therefore creating a transformation, will run wild. I did a sermon series some years ago when I was pastoring down in Georgia. I did a sermon series called Thought Wars. The war with, for, and of the mind. Thought wars. The war with, for, and of the mind. Because that is the greatest battle that you will ever fight in your life, is the battle with your own mind, trying to convince you of things that have not even begun to materialize. Are you hearing me? And so this is the reason why, because if your mind can conceive it, if it can create the narrative, the simulation, the illusion, then that illusion will ultimately be manifested in your reality. Because listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, here's that law again. Your outer world of form and experience is a reflection of your inner world of thought and feeling. And so if your mind can create this illusion, this narrative, this simulation, and convince you that it is a reality within your conscious mind, it will then show up in your three-dimensional existence. And now you are seeing the manifestation of an illusion that you created within your own mind. Yet the manifestation will reinforce the reality of the illusion illusion and cause you to believe that the lie is the truth. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And all of it rooted in fear. Okay? When you have fear-based thinking about your life, about God, about your relationships, about your culture, about the people, places, and things around you, fear will start to create this portrait and this picture within your conscious mind. And if it has your mind, it changes your life. You are transformed. Listen to me. You are metamorphized, taken from one state of existence to another by the renewing, that is the anakinosis, having your mind effectively, transformatively changed. Woo! By the renewing of your mind, when you can shift away from fear-based beliefs, ideas, and concepts into the present reality of the eternal moment of now, then you are able to release and relinquish the fear that has produced this illusion within your mind. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? That's the substratum. That is the basis. That is the foundation for anxiety. It is the foundation for fear. It is the foundation for your living in the prison and a prism of fear. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Anxiety pulls you out of the present moment and into a story that your mind has just made up. That's what anxiety does. It pulls you away from the present moment. Everything around you is just fine. Nothing wrong, nothing broken, nothing crazy. But your mind starts to play out this scenario. God Almighty. And convinces you that life's terrible, life's horrible, and all of this bad stuff is getting ready to happen to you. Are you understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth? Woo! Okay? And so you start responding and behaving in a manner that is unhealthy, ineffective. It disempowers you because it is motivated by fear, by anxiety, by a reality created within your own mind that does not exist in your reality. But you are creating it. You are creating the cycle. You are creating a reality that reflects the fear. And that reinforces. Because faith has one job. It has one simple job. Faith is neither positive nor negative. It is meant for our good, but when it is misused, it still does its job. Faith has one job. It is the substance of things that you hope for. That is, it is the substance. The word substance means essence or the power, the foundation. It is what strengthens the things that you hope for, your expectation. Faith supports your expectation. Faith produces what you expect. And if your expectation is fear-based, faith has no choice but to give you a visible, tangible representation of what it is you are expecting. So when you expect the worst, you get the worst. When you expect catastrophe, you get catastrophe. When you expect chaos, you get chaos. You will get exactly what you expect because faith has no choice but to give you what you expect. It is the substance of the thing that you are hoping for, and it provides you the evidence of the thing that you cannot see. It gives you infallible proof that what you're expecting really does exist. And so you start creating a reality that mirrors your fear, and it is not reality at all. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Okay? Irrational fear. Okay? This is why we feel powerless during anxiety, because we are not grounded in what is, but we are trapped in what if. Whoa, boy, that was good. I need to write that one down myself. Hold on. Just shoot. Yes, that's good right there. That fear causes you to feel so powerless. Anxiety zaps away your power because you find yourself grounded in what if rather than what is. Whoa, that's good. That's good right there, Miles. Rather than being grounded in what actually is, in the eternal moment of now, you become grounded in what if. What if this happens? What if it doesn't happen? What if it works? What if it doesn't work? What if it falls apart? What if I die? What if I stop breathing? What if? And so you get anxiety. I don't care about what it is about, what it's about. You have an overwhelming anxiety about water because in your mind, you have created this narrative. What if I drown? What if I can't breathe? What if I get swept away? What if? Instead of what is. You're standing in 3 feet of water. The water just coming up around your ankles and maybe up to your calf, not even up to your knees. And you terrified because of what if, not what is. What if? You ever seen the picture of this person flailing around in the water and they just like, oh my God, I'm gonna drown, I'm gonna drown, I'm gonna drown, I'm gonna drown. And then another person standing next to him say, stand up. And then they put their feet down and they stand up and the water's not even around the shin. It's just barely around the ankle. But that perception create this irrational perception, this narrative, this simulation within their mind, created a reality within their mind that caused them to think this is over. What if I drown? So your vision speaks to you, purpose pulls at you and says, start your business, launch it forward. This is your destiny. This is your purpose. And then fear, irrational fear and anxiety says, but what if it doesn't work? What if you don't get funded? What if nobody patronizes your business? What if it fails? What if people laugh at you? What if nobody supports you? What if nobody believes in you? What if? And so you find yourself paralyzed by the what if instead of what is. Are you understanding the words that I'm saying to you? Okay? It affects your brain. It affects your psyche. Like I said, from a physiological standpoint, it affects your amygdala and it creates this fight, flight, fun sensation that is automatic within your human body. And so you start to run away and recoil because of the fear. And the body thinks it's protecting itself. I learned something over the course of, it's like in March, I have like so many different doctor appointments and visits that I have to go to because of some different challenges that I face. And in one of my visits, I learned something because I've been taking, here I am telling y'all my business again. I've been taking a cholesterol medicine to lower my cholesterol because cholesterol is just sky high. And I thought, since I've lost 2 people, that's my way of talking about losing weight. Since I've lost 2 whole people and gone from almost 500 pounds, 480 pounds, down to 230 pounds, yay for me. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. Glory to God. So I've lost 2 whole people. I thought that, okay, I've lost all of this weight. I've changed my eating habits. I've become strictly pescatarian. And so it's just vegetables, fish, chicken. I work out. I can max out. I maxed out on Friday to see what my run capacity was. Not walk, run. I could run for 6 straight miles nonstop. So I thought, I'm in really good shape. I'm running. I'm eating right. I've lost all of this weight. Surely I don't need this cholesterol medicine anymore. So I stopped taking it. So when it came time for them to do labs, I had my labs done and I was expecting great things. Great things. Got my labs back and my cholesterol was sky high. I mean, through the roof. And my doctor immediately called and was just like, have you been taking your cholesterol medicine because your cholesterol is through the roof? And I had to admit to her that, I did not. I thought that I could come off of it because I've lost so much weight and I'm doing so well and I'm eating healthy and I'm exercising. I thought I would be fine. I found out from my doctor, she said, listen, you are not going to be able to stop taking the cholesterol medicine, and that's not a bad thing. She said, but what you have to understand is because you've had open heart surgery, I had open heart surgery back in 2018, and you've had several heart attacks, and so we had to put stents in your heart. Stents are little devices that they stick inside of the arteries and veins of your body to keep them open so that the flow of blood can come through. Your body sees those stents as a foreign object. And so because your body thinks the stents are a foreign object, it thinks it has to protect itself. So it forms these calcium pockets around the stent to try and isolate it because it thinks that it's protecting you. And those calcium deposits are cholesterol. And so it's not your eating habits that's the problem. It is the body thinking that it's protecting itself by building these calcium deposits around those devices that are designed to help you. So the medicine helps to dissolve those calcium deposits, keeping your cholesterol low and your veins open and clear so that the blood is able to flow freely through them. And I said, so you mean to tell me that my body is attacking me? And she said, no, your body thinks it's protecting you. You know, I almost ran, right? You know, yeah, Jay's how preachers turn everything into a sermon. Yeah, I'm turning it into a sermon. I'm telling you, it's like she says, no, your body thinks it's protecting you because it doesn't recognize this foreign body that's in there that is creating the issue and the problem, but it's really designed to help you. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? And so when your fear and anxiety begins to kick in, it's your body's way of thinking that it's protecting you, but in fact, it is actually hurting you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That anxiety, that fear that you are feeling, that desire to be a perfectionist, that I have to get everything right, that imposter syndrome where you have to try and keep up a certain appearance because you're afraid of ever being found out, that you're not as people might think that you are. All of it is the body trying to protect itself, thinking that it's protecting you, but in fact, it is that reaction is what is imprisoning and trapping you, and you have to do the things necessary to break down those calcium deposits that are building within your conscious mind, within your imagination of the possibilities of what could be and what if, and start to ground yourself in what is. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Because the body holds trauma. Ooh. Man, I don't have enough time to really dig into that piece right there. But your body has muscle memory. It holds trauma. It holds trauma in its muscle memory and unprocessed emotions in its muscle memory, and it then begins to react and respond based upon the past traumas that it has experienced, because it thinks that it's protecting you from future trauma and future emotional distress. Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. I don't have the time this morning. I got to try and finish this in the next 5, 6, 7, 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Oh my. Okay. So, and fear has all of these different offsprings. I'm going to run through a list of them real quick. Anxiety, we talked about that one. Panic attacks. Anxiety, panic attacks. Fear-based. Perfectionism, I mentioned that one earlier. This idea that you have a fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of inadequacy. That's perfectionism. Procrastination. Ooh, Lord have mercy. I know I just stepped on some toes right there. Did you know that procrastination is based in fear? Fear of success, fear of exposure, fear of not being enough, fear of there not being enough time, not being able to accomplish it. You procrastinate. Fear of commitment. Hello. People pleasing or enabling. An enabler does so out of fear. Likewise, codependency. Codependency is a product and offspring, the grandchild of fear. I don't know why I said grandchild. Okay, grandchild, child, nephew, auntie, whatever you want to call it. It is a product of fear. Okay? Here's one. Control issues. Control issue. Yeah. The feel like you have to be in control of everything. You need to make sure that everything is lined up, being very anal and very, it's got to analytical. And I need to make sure that I have everything under control. Is a fear of the unknown and the fear of uncertainty. It causes you not to be able to walk by faith or to take a leap because you need to have control. You need to control the outcome. You need to control the possibilities. You need to control what's going to happen or what might happen or what may not happen. And so you strangle yourself and your ideas and your purpose and your creativity with control. Because if you can't control every aspect of it, you want no part of it. You don't even get to experience real life, real living, because there are certain things that just seem to be beyond your control. And so it's like, no. You never get me zip lining. You never get me bungee jumping. You never get me riding the rapids. You never get me, no, because I have to give up control. Hello? Come on. This becomes a battle of relationships because both parties feel like they need to be in control. And both of them don't recognize that it's coming from fear, because I can't let you hurt me, can't let you deceive me, can't let you take advantage of me. Or what if you lie to me? And what if you let me down? And what if you're not who you say you are? And what if, 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 and what if. But remember that anxiety and fear is based in a reality that doesn't exist, an irrational reality that doesn't exist, a written narrative and a simulation created within your own mind that there is absolutely no indication of in the present moment. And so you feel like you have to control. Okay. And I spoke about imposter syndrome. Fear-based. Addiction. Trying to anesthetize yourself from having to feel and experience what is taking place in your present reality. So I try and dumb it and numb it by drowning it with some other kind of narcotic or substance that doesn't cause me to feel fear. These are all the children, the offspring of fear. So, in these last few minutes, let me try and give you some pointers or steps that you can take to transmute fear, because you're not going to get rid of it. Fear is energy. Energy can neither be created or destroyed. You cannot destroy it. It will be there, and it does serve a purpose. When harnessed and directed in the right direction, it does serve a purpose. So how do I transmute? How do I transmute this energy of fear into power? I said 9 minutes, so you see I'm getting ready to go over, right? But I'm going to go over it in a very quick and fast manner. Whoever's scribing for me, write these in the comments because I'm going to move real quick. And those of you who are watching, take notes real fast. Especially those of you on TikTok, because there's no way to save the video on TikTok and replay it. So you have to get it all while we're doing it live. All right. Those of you watching on the other platforms, the video will stay up and you can go back and rewatch it and replay it. Hey, those of you on TikTok may need to go follow me on Facebook or on YouTube or on Instagram so that you're able to take advantage of that privilege of being able to rewatch videos. I'm just saying. Okay. So what is transmutation? Transmutation is an act of transforming energy from one state to another. Fear is simply energy. That's all it is. Like any other energy, it can be shifted, it can be elevated, it can be repurposed, it can be transmuted. All right. So I'm going to give you 7 steps and I'm going to do it real quickly. Here is number 1. Whoever's scribing, write it down real fast. Step 1, acknowledge the fear. Acknowledge the fear. Psychological awareness. You can never transmute what you will not face. You can't fix what you won't face. Woo! Let me say it again. You cannot fix what you will not face. So start asking yourself, what am I really afraid of? What is the origin of this fear? Is this fear based in a present reality or is it a projection of a possibility? Or is it a past wound that I'm replaying and now it's playing out in my present reality? But you have to acknowledge the fear. Don't sit there and lie to yourself. Faith is not calling those things that are as though they aren't. It's calling those things that be not as though they were. Not calling those things that are as though they aren't. It's not pretending that it doesn't exist. I'm not afraid. I don't have no fear. Acknowledge that I have the fear. Be honest about that. Here's number 2. Breathe through it. Breathe through it. Okay? This is a physiological response to fear, anxiety. Breathe through it. And there are 2 methods. Man, I wanted to really spend some time here, but I'm going to give it to you real quick. There is a box method, and then there's the 4-7-8 method that you can use to breathe through the moments of fear. Let me explain it real quick. Okay? In the box method, you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold for another 4 seconds, and you repeat. That's the box method. The 4-7-8 is just a little bit more extensive. You inhale for 4, hold for 7, and then exhale for 8. This tells your nervous system that you're safe. It starts to calm your body down and releases the anxiety. So the box method, 4-4-4-4, or the 4-7-8 method, both are supremely effective. Breathe through it. Here's number 3. Ground yourself in the now. Ground yourself in the now. This is your spiritual reconnection. Ground yourself in the now. Fear takes you out of the present moment and starts to place you in the place of the perceived threat and a reality that doesn't exist. When you ground yourself in the now, it brings you back to what is happening in the present moment. And the technique that I like to use, and again, I really wanted more time to unpack this. Maybe I'll do this in the partner portal. So if you're not a partner with Emerge, you're going to be missing out because I'm going to really dig into it in our partner portal. But it is the 5-4-3-2-1 method. 5-4-3-2-1, and it is designed around the 5 senses. Okay? The method is in grounding yourself in the present moment, name 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All centered around the 5 senses, which ground you in the present moment. Name 5 things that you can see right now in the present moment. What are 5 things you can see? 4 things that you can actually touch, that are tangible, that you can touch and feel. 3 things that you can hear right in that moment. Name them, speak them out loud. 2 things that you can smell in your immediate surrounding, in your present state. And 1 thing that you can taste. This helps to ground you in where you are at the moment. Okay? And so you can ask yourself at the end of that exercise, what's real right now? What is true right now? The truth is, I see this, I feel this, I hear this, I can smell this, I can taste this. This is what's happening right now. Okay? And then affirm to yourself that my power is in the present. Woo! I said, my power is in the present. So I return to my present self right now. Number 4, reframe the thought. Remember that fear creates a simulation, a narrative, a story, an illusion within the mind. Reframe every disempowering thought. Reframe the thought. What do I mean by that? This is your cognitive transmutation. Fear will say, well, what if it fails? Reframe it and say, well, what if it succeeds? What if it doesn't work? Reframe. What if it does? Reframe the thought. This grounds you in the reality and creates another perception and expectation. Instead of expecting the worst, you are now expecting the best. So reframe the thought. That's your cognitive transmutation. You're regenerating your thoughts. Okay? Number 5. And this is the important one. Move this energy. Remember that fear is an energy, and all energy is kinetic energy. Fear in motion. Energy in motion. That's what emotions are. Energy in motion. Emotion. Energy in motion. So, since this is an energy, and it is moving in a kinetic frequency and vibration that is producing this feeling of fear, when you begin to change your movement, you change the emotion. So get up and shake your body, or dance, or run, or walk, or even cry if you want to, yell. Do something that creates a different physicality and puts that energy in motion. Look for an outlet for that energy in motion. Move through this energy. Move the energy around. Practice yoga. Do EFT tapping if you're familiar with that. Got to do this puzzle over here. There we go. I don't know why TikTok does that. At the hour mark, you have to do a puzzle. Do some somatic release. Use sound healing, like with a tuning fork or sound bowls, toning, drumming. All of these things are a way to channel that energy into something that is positive and empowering. I got to keep going. Number 6, okay? Surrender to the divine. Surrender to the source. Surrender to God. This is what I call spiritual alchemy. Trying to control everything is a fear-based behavior. When you surrender to the divine, when you surrender to God, when you surrender to the all of everything, knowing that God is inextricably for me, that nothing is happening to me, everything is happening for me, nothing is against me, and everything is for me. When I surrender to that, I rest in that, I trust in the all of everything that is moving in me, through me, as me, and directing, guiding my steps. It relieves me of the anxiety of responsibility, and I am able to rest. There remaineth a rest for the children of God, to rest in that place of security and safety. This is spiritual alchemy. Okay? When you practice the keys to the universe, and I'm discussing these in the partner portal right now. Those who have been around me for a while, you started out with 5 keys. There are now 7 keys. So there's 2 more that you are missing. Boy, you need to become a partner if you want to know what those other 2 keys are. But when you surrender to those keys and start to practice those keys, like prayer and fasting and meditation, and all the others that are listed, it grounds you spiritually and creates this alchemy that begins to transmute that energy. And here is number 7. Reclaim your self-trust. It is important that you not only trust in the all of everything, surrendered to God, but that you learn to trust yourself. Fear, anxiety will cause you to lose sight of your own divinity, and you will begin to stop trusting yourself. That's when you start to override your intuition, your intuitive knowing. The soul knows what the conscious mind has yet to comprehend. Your soul always knows. There's a text in the Bible that says that the Holy Spirit, or the Comforter, the Paraclete, the presence of God, when it is come, that is, when it emerges within you, it will lead and guide you into all truth and show you things that are to come. Short version, that it will give you clarity, and it will give you direction. The presence of God within you always gives you clarity and direction. You never move in and out of any situation, circumstance, or relationship without there being a flashing red sign, a neon sign flashing in your soul that tells you exactly what you can expect. What's going to happen, what you should do next, you always know. You just have to listen to your intuition. When you override your intuition and then things turn out badly, it starts you then to begin to lose trust in your intuitive self. Well, the way to transmute that fear energy is to regain that trust. Reclaim your self-trust. This is your spiritual as well as psychological integration. Okay? Fear comes in to try and fill the gap when you override your intuition. But the moment that you choose to listen to yourself again, you take your power back. So forgive yourself for ignoring your inner voice and your intuition. Commit to honoring that voice, your inner voice, the next time. And then celebrate your awareness that the voice was there, even though I ignored it. It's still there. It's still operational. So I'm going to celebrate the fact that I have the guidance and clarity from the presence of God within me, always with me. And then affirm yourself by saying, I trust my voice. I trust myself. I am wise. I am powerful. I am whole. I am divine. Okay? So those are the 7 ways. And again, I didn't really get to unpack them as much as I'd like, but I promise you, you use all 7 of them, you'll be able to transmute your fear into power and regain your power to be able to live the life that you desire. So here are some final thoughts, and I'm through. You don't overcome fear by running from it. You can't run from it. You have to acknowledge that it's there. You overcome it by walking through it, being aware, awake, and aligned. You got to walk right through it, handle it, face it, and being aware, being awake, being aligned, attuned with the all of everything. Each time you face fear, transmute it. By transmuting it, you reclaim your voice, you strengthen your nervous system, you expand your capacity, and you open new levels of freedom and power. Okay? I've got more. I'm just out of time. I'm not out of word. I'm not out of teaching, but I am out of time. I am out of time. If you become a partner with Emerge, you'll get all of it. I'm going to post all of my notes that I wrote that I didn't even get to in here. I'm going to post it all in the partner portal. So if you become a partner with Emerge, you'll have access to all the notes that I have written on this topic, and you're able to write it down and to study it, research it, and use it for your own help. Becoming a partner is easy. All you simply have to do is write to the email address that you see on your screen and simply say 3 words, I want in. That's all it takes. I'll send you back an information packet that tells you everything that you need to know about Emerge, and then a partner agreement. You simply sign the agreement and send it back to me, and you're in. There's so much information in the partner portal right now. It is jam-packed, especially in these last few months since the beginning of this year. There is so much. We've got the magic of manifestation in there. We've also got the prophetic insights into what this year is going to hold, and then some things specifically for the month of March as well. We've got information in there about business, about financial planning. We've got things in there about, we did a whole series of teaching on passive income in the partner portal. Because see, we're not just talking spiritual, we're talking about making millionaires in the partner portal. And so we talked about everything from day trading to Forex trading to money management, investment accounts, and other things, and all types of passive income that you can get involved in. So when I tell you that partnership has its benefits, man, it does. So if you'd like to become a partner with the Emerge movement, then I encourage you to go ahead and write to the email address that's on the screen, emerge.lifecenter@gmail.com, emerge.lifecenter@gmail.com, and simply say, I want in. And I guarantee you that you'll be happy that you did. All right. For those of you who are watching us on all platforms, if you'd like to give, and we appreciate your sowing and giving to help us to strengthen this particular work and this platform and expand its reach, you can do so by, those of you watching on TikTok, you can use our CashApp that's written in the description and send your gift or your offering, your sacrifice, your tithe to that if you are a tither. Those of you who are watching on YouTube and Facebook and all of the other outlets, then you can use any of the means that you see on your screen right now. You can use our Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, or Venmo to send your offering. Now, it's right that you do so. That what I just gave you this morning, you would have had to pay someone quite a bit of money to get in a private setting, and I just offered it to you for free. So if you'd like to give in support of the work, then you can use any of the means that you see on your screen right now. Those of you who are partners who are following the financial fitness plan, you know exactly what you need to do. Make sure that you are following the plan to the letter, because it is guaranteed in 5 years' time, you will have gone from working for money to money working for you. It is a guaranteed plan. It cannot fail if you follow this financial fitness plan. Now, those of you who are asking, what's the financial fitness plan? Well, you have to be a partner to find out. So be a partner and you can find out exactly what the financial fitness plan is. 5 years' time, you will move from working for money to having your money work for you in just 5 years. I'm telling you, it absolutely 100% works. All right. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this conscious conversation. We'll see you back here next week at 9 a.m. for the Emerge Empowerment Session.
Some of you are even afraid to dream, afraid to imagine. But I'm here to tell you that you are an infinite, limitless, boundless being. Are you willing to do what is necessary to have what you desire?
You've been listening to Apostle Isaac Miles, the disruptive innovator, a mentor, an author, a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, and the founder and spiritual director at emergelec Life Enrichment Center. Please take a minute to subscribe, like, and share this page. If you'd like to become a partner, you can do so by emailing us at emerge.lifecenter@gmail.com. Again, that's emerge.lifecenter@gmail.com. Once again, thank you for watching.